All right, Mr. Dempo, congratulations on the set of numbers, and we do hope that you can better it in the coming quarters as well. Thanks very much for updating us on your business outlook and how the numbers have been. Goa Carbon, the stock a little bit under pressure of 3% right now, trading at 74 rupees a piece. Stock-specific action will, of course, continue in this market, but on buy or sell today, it's a special on mutual funds, and we'll try and target some of your mutual fund queries which are coming in. To help us with those answers, we have two special guests joining in, experts from their own fields. Joining in right now is Mr. Jayant Pai, who's Vice President with Parag Parikh Financial Advisory Services, and we also have joining in right now Mr. Uttam Agarwal, he's Business Head at La Premier Bajaj Capital, joining in from our Delhi studios. Gentlemen, thanks very much for taking time out of your busy schedules this Friday afternoon to speak to us and help us with the queries that are coming in. The first query that's coming in is from someone called Balaji. He's one of our viewers who's been watching NDTV Profit. He's writing in from Hyderabad saying that these are the ones which are in his portfolio. He's got HDFC Equity Fund, IDFC Premier Equity Plan A, UTI Opportunities Fund, ICICI Prudential Dynamic Fund, Franklin India Blue Chip Fund. He wants to know whether or not he should be adding Reliance Regular Savings Equity Fund or perhaps even DSP BlackRock Fund at the current levels. Mr. Agarwal, let me ask you first, what do you think of this portfolio as is?
Right. I think he mentioned about 4 or 5 funds, out of which 3 are in the flexi cap space, which includes HDFC Equity, IDFC Premier, and also UTI Opportunities and ICICI Dynamic Fund. So all these 3 are top quartile funds, and they have performed extremely well on consistency basis, on the basis of risk adjusted returns, on delivering alpha. So I think he should continue with all these 3 funds. And as far as adding a new fund is concerned, I would recommend that, because value style funds are missing in his portfolio, I would recommend ICICI Prudential's Discovery Fund, which is again a very good top performing fund, and it buys stocks which are cheap in value, which have much lower price to book value or price to earning multiple compared to the Sensex stocks, and it has delivered well over the period of time. So I would like him to add that in his portfolio.
Okay, so ICICI Discovery Fund is a suggestion coming in. Mr. Pai, you've been waiting by patiently for a couple of moments there. Thank you very much, sir. What would you say about this particular portfolio, and do you think that as Balaji wants, he wants to know whether Reliance Regular Savings Equity Fund or DSP BlackRock Fund, if that should be added?
Yeah, actually Balaji's portfolio is fairly, it's a decent one. So I don't see why he wants to add another fund in the first place. But in case he does, so I think Reliance RSF is not a very good option. It did have its heyday around 2 years back, but for the past 2 years its performance is declining, both in comparison with its peers as well as with the benchmark. So I suggest that he stay away from that. Also, he has not specified which DSP fund he wants. So in case he is open about it, I suggest that he bolster his large cap component in the portfolio by adding DSP Top 100. Because in his entire portfolio he has several large to mid cap and pure mid cap funds, but only one large cap in the form of Franklin Blue Chip. So what I suggest is either he increase the SIP amount in Franklin Blue Chip itself, or if he wants to add a new fund, he could add DSP Top 100, because that will add to the large cap component in the portfolio.
Okay, so that's the call coming in, and net the portfolio that Balaji has, it seems like a good one. We're going to take a short break here on Buy or Sell. Do stay with us. We're going to take up some more of your mutual fund queries on the other side of the break. Stay with us. Thanks for staying on here on Buy or Sell on NDTV Profit. In this break, we do hope that all of you have gone ahead and participated in a search for India's stock market hero. That's the contest we've been flagging off for you over the last couple of weeks here on the channel. It's your chance to make 50,000 rupees. 2 simple questions, 2 SMSs in response to those 2 questions. And if you send in the answers correctly, then that's your chance to make 50,000 rupees. But remember, it's the last day running of the contest. So this band and the last one, that's 2 to 3:30 p.m. band, is the only one you have. So go ahead and participate. The Department of Telecom had demanded liquidated damages from telecom operators for not meeting their rollout obligations. But a news coming in just now, we understand that the TDSAT has set aside the DOT's demand for liquidated damages. What does that mean? What is this development and how significant is this? Arijit Banerjee will tell us. Arijit, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bianca. If you look at it, this is of course crucial because remember that most of the operators in recent times have been getting liquidated damages notices. These of course pertain to liquidated damages which were sent to the people who got licenses in 2008 under former Telecom Minister A. Raja's regime. Basically, the liquidated damages are penalties or charges which a licensor, in this case DOT, can take from operators for not meeting the contract obligations which were there in the license conditions. So what DOT had told these operators was, since they were not able to meet the rollout obligation and not roll out their services in time according to the license condition, they had to pay these damages. The operators in TDSAT had contended that most of the delay had happened because of the delay in clearances by the telecom department as well as delay in giving them spectrum, and therefore they had not been able to roll out the services. It seems that TDSAT had agreed with many of the views. There are certain norms under which the TDSAT in its judgment has said, under which of course these liquidated damages have to be taken. For example, a show cause notice needs to be given, and also in terms of delay in DOT, there was some sort of agreement within TDSAT on that as well. So they have set aside this and they have asked DOT to refund these liquidated damages. Together they could amount to about 250 to 300 crore rupees if all the operators are taken together, and they have said that in 4 weeks time this need to be refunded with interest on that. And what they have also said is that they have not stopped DOT from sending further notices, but the TDSAT has clarified that due process needs to be followed. So therefore definitely a relief for many of the operators, people like Unitech who have got their JV with Telenor, that is Uninor, Videocon, Loop, and also of course Aircel and Systema Sham. So all these operators would be getting some sort of relief in terms of getting back refund of those liquidated damages which they had paid earlier to DOT, as well as some sort of hearing that they will now get from DOT on this whole issue. Back to you.
Thanks, Arijit, for the clarity there. Definitely a bit of a positive news for some of those telcos there. Moving away from specific action, let's talk about mutual funds. It's the mutual fund special, and our experts here are patiently waiting by. We've got a query coming in from Vishal from Patna. He writes in saying that he's got HDFC Midcap Opportunity Fund, SBI Infrastructure Fund Series 1, UTI Long Term Fund Series. That's also what he's got. He wants to know whether or not he should be holding on to these funds. Jayant, let me come to you first. Do you think this is a balanced sort of portfolio? I mean, perhaps the HDFC Midcap Fund seems like a good one, but what about the rest?
Yeah, it is a little bit of a weird portfolio because it doesn't gel at all. Even individually, these funds are not that great. HDFC Midcap has certainly performed well over the past 1 year, so we could, hold on to that for some more time. The other two have fallen flat on various fronts. So what I suggest is that the SBI Infrastructure Fund, he could replace it with a regular diversified large cap fund. For example, say a DSP Top 100 or an ICICI focused blue chip. And the other one is a little different sort of an ELSS fund. It's a 10-year ELSS fund, So now, although his 3 years lock-in is over, he may have to pay an exit load to exit this fund. But despite that, I suggest that he move out of this because it has underperformed again, and he go into another regular diversified fund, say for example a Fidelity Equity Fund or a DSP Equity Fund. So that way he will have a good blend of a large cap fund as well as a couple of large to mid cap funds.
Okay, so you think Jayant thinks that perhaps this is a bit of a weird portfolio, Mr. Agarwal. What would your suggestion be, other than perhaps HDFC Midcap? Should he add on something else?
Yeah, actually I agree with Jayant's advice. So I don't want to repeat that, and but I would just like to add that yes, he can, if he wants to stay in ELSS because he has some tax saving purpose as well, so he can look at HDFC Tax Saver Fund or say a Canara Robeco's Tax Saver Funds, which are top quartile funds, and they have beaten the peer group both in terms of cumulative returns as well as on discrete basis. So he can look at those. Otherwise, a good large well diversified equity fund will also serve his purpose.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for your views and your comments on the portfolios that we've got in mutual fund special today here on NDTV. But unfortunately, we're running out of time, so we'll have to end this conversation here. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in. There's news development coming in just now about that involves internet giants Google and Facebook.